Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Edge. This is the weekly reset vendor video for today, April 22nd of 2025. Without further ado, we'll get right into it. As always, though, we are going to just be looking for the stuff that I think you should be grabbing. Going to be skipping over everything else. Everything I don't think you should be worrying about. But we'll start off in the White House, then hit the settlements, the dark zones, and then over in New York for the last two. Over here in the White House, we have the Pyro. Not a bad weapon. Personally, don't use it. But it is not a bad weapon of choice. But there's nothing there I really would worry about. Over here at the Countdown vendor, we've got the Dare. Axle swap chain. Honestly, I probably would just skip all of those. The Dare can be kind of useful if you don't have a Bullet King. But personally, I don't think it's really worth it once you are able to put Spotter on or put Flatland or something else. Here we got the Pyro again. This I wouldn't really worry about that one. I think the other one was a little bit better. There's health damage for your library if you need it. Group of Mask, you can change the skill damage to crit damage. And then you'd have a mask that's pretty much perfect. It wouldn't take a whole lot of resources to get it maxed out either. Nothing really at the White House. We'll jump over here to the theater, see what we got going on over here, and then continue our loop around the city.
Come on over, take a look.
Got the Surge, the Thorn. Personally, don't like either one of those weapons. No. These Mages, you could drop that chance for skill damage and have a really good piece there. That's one I'd get if you need it for a skill build. Jump over here to the castle. And we'll see what we got going on
Combat
over
simulation
here.
program active.
The Darkness absolutely is a laughing stock of a weapon in my opinion. I wouldn't even bother going into the castle, to be completely honest with you. Jump over here to the campus. While we're running over here, I just want to tell everybody thank you for stopping by. Hope everybody's having a great day, had a great week, having a great week, all that fun stuff. Got the Carnage. It's got some good potential, but I think there's better LMGs out there to use. M700, SR1's better. I wouldn't bother getting that one. Even with having determined, if you need determined though for your marksman rifles, grab that, put it in the library. Absolutely worth getting if that's the case. But that would be the only thing out of there I really would worry about grabbing. Jump over here to the West Gate. We'll see what we got going on over here.
Anything
From Handshake, if you really need it from Handshake, I would grab it. Personally, I would try to just get one out of a name cache though. But if you need it for getting your proficiency done, I could definitely see getting it and wearing them.
Anything I can show you?
0F with armor regen. Interesting. If you don't have a 0F, that would be one to grab. You could change that repair skill to Hazard Pro. You could change it to crit Crit chance, crit damage, probably crit chance. Personally, if I'm grabbing it, I'm making that a Hazard Pro. Damage armor for pistols if you need it. But that would really be the only thing out of South I would grab. We did get some news in the last week about the new Brooklyn DLC, so that is going to be exciting. I believe we're getting some more info on that tomorrow, potentially. So it'd be nice to know kind of the timeline about when we're going to be getting that.
Looking for anything in particular?
Claws out with status effect. Honestly, as good as those are, I would probably skip them. You want those to be a triple red. Or have Hazard Pro on them. And then rolling that Hazard Pro or Armor Region or potentially like a crit chance. And then changing that core to an armor roll. Or weapon roll, depending on what you're going to be using it for. But definitely has some different abilities for it to be attached to your gear. But not a whole lot today. Kind of disappointed. We've had some pretty dry weeks these last few weeks. But it is what it is. Got a lot of gear that they can be assigning to these vendors, so we just got to be staying on top of it.
Safe area entered.
They'll eventually start giving us some really good stuff again. Nothing at that vendor there. And we got one more left.
Hey, Agent, you doing all right?
I mean, obviously, all of these you could be stealing the talents off of them if you need them for your library. If you don't have a rock and roll or a lefty shotgun, this will be one to grab if you don't have one, and then just changing that talent. Be having it for a striker build to build them stacks. Definitely kind of like a stepping stone to get towards the lefty or rock and roll. So definitely worth getting if you don't have one of those two options. But the moment you get one of those two, you'll get rid of this weapon. So it's kind of just a placeholder spot. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate you being here. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the next video. Peace out.